1 second, Prabhuji. Jata swayam aja sakshad
जात स्वयं अजः साक्षात्
atma prajnaptaye nranam.
आत्म प्रज्ञा अपतये नृणाम्. Translation. Sri Saunaka said, although he is unborn, the Supreme Personality of Godhead took birth as Kapila Muni by his internal potency. He descended to disseminate transcendental knowledge for the benefit of the whole human race.
So Shaunaka Rishi is saying that the Supreme Lord Kapila, unborn, who enumerated the elements, spiritual knowledge to mankind. Atma Prajnaptaye Nrunam. So Lord Kapila appeared to give us the knowledge to understand the Atma Tattva. So if Lord appeared to give us the knowledge of Atma Tattva, then we should hear about him, and then we should hear about that knowledge given by him. So with that intention, the sages are asking. Lord Kapila is the founder of the enumeration of the elements, the Sankhya philosophy. Though he is by nature unborn, by his own energy, he appears to be born. He appeared by his inconceivable potency and performed the pastimes of birth, since it is not possible to say that the Lord has manifested his birth. In Bhagavad Gita, we say that Ajopisan Aveyatma Bhutanam Ishwaropisan Prakritin Swam Adhishtaya Sambhavami Atma Maya. Even though the unborn Lord appears, but by his own internal potency, not forced by external potency, the Maya Devi. That's why the Lord's birth and activities are transcendental. Those who hear and discuss the transcendental activities of Supreme Lord will never take birth again in this material world. That means by hearing the transcendental birth and activities of Supreme Lord, we also can become transcendental. That is the glory of Lord's pastimes. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvataha taktva deha punarjanma naiti mameti so Arjuna. So it is like that. He who understands in truth my spiritual birth and activities attains me on giving up his body in my spiritual abode and does not take birth in this world again. So, since Lord's birth and activities are transcendental, one should pay attention to hear and study these activities. Only those activities can deliver us from this material bondage. That is the understanding. So therefore, please speak more. Like that is going to tell. Nahi asya varshmana pumsham.
Nahi asya vasmana pumsam
Varimna sarvayoginam.
varimnaha sarvayoginam
Vishrutao shrutadevasya.
visrutau shrutadevasya
Bhuri trupyanti me sava.
bhuri trupyanti me sava. Translation. Saunaka continued, there is no one who knows more than Lord himself. No one is more worshipable or more mature a yogi than he. He is therefore the master of the Vedas, and to hear about him always is the actual pleasure of the senses.
Yeah. Because I delight in hearing, my senses can never be fully satisfied with topics about the form of Lord Kapila, greatest among the great persons such as Purushavataras, and greatest among the great yogis such as Dattatreya. So therefore, please speak more and more about this particular form of the Supreme Lord, about whom we want to hear more and more. That is the whole idea. With that intention is asking, please speak more and more. We want to know more and more about the Supreme Lord Kapila. My life air and senses cannot be fully satisfied with the topics of the Supreme Lord. Lord Kapila, greatest among the Purushas such as Kiroksha Vishnu, and greatest among the yogis such as Dattatreya, I delight in hearing about him. Or Shrutadevasya along with Bhuri can refer to the topics of the Lord who is heard about plentifully. Uttama Shloka. Lord is also called as Uttama Shloka or Shrutadevasya. That means he is that Deva about whom all of us should be hearing, or he is that personality who is worthy of hearing. Therefore, we want to hear more and more. What makes him worthy of hearing? Because he is great among all the Purusha avatars and is great among all the yogis. That makes him worthy object of hearing. So please speak more about him. We are very eager to hear about the activities of Lord Kapila because we know that he spoke the Sankhya philosophy, he appeared by his own energy to give spiritual knowledge, he is the greatest among the great and he is the foremost among the yogis. These are the various reasons because of which we want to hear about Lord Kapila. Then the sages of Naimisharanya further say, Yad yad vidatte Bhagavan
Yadyat vidatte
Yad
Bhagavan
Swachandatmatma Mayaya
Swachandatmatma Mayaya
Tani me Shraddha Danasya
Tani me Shraddha Danasya
Kirtanyani Anukirtaya.
Kirtanyani Anukirtaya. Therefore, please precisely describe all the activities and pastimes of the personality of Godhead, who is full of self-desire and who assumes all these activities by his internal potency.
Please describe to me, who is full of faith, Shraddha Danasya, all the activities of Supreme Lord, worthy of glorification, which the independent Lord performs by his internal energy. Atma Maya, Satchandatma Atma Maya. All the activities that are performed by the Lord are performed by his internal energy out of his free will. They are not activities that are performed by the force of the material nature. Not like that. That's why they are worthy of hearing. The Lord has a body which is independent, not like the Jiva, whose body is dependent on our karma. Or he is the Lord whose bodily appearance takes place by his own will independently. Ajopisan Naveyatma Bhutanam Ishwarupisan Sam Prakritim Swam Adhishtaya Sambhavami Atma Maya. Lord appears by his own internal potency, not by external potency. That makes him the Lord. He performs actions by his Yoga Maya, not by his external energy. Since it is said, Janma Karma cha me divyam. My birth and activities are transcendental. Kirtanyani means worthy of being glorified. Yad yad. That means whatever action indicating a great number of pastimes. That means Lord's pastimes are innumerable because he is Ananta. So since Lord's pastimes are innumerable, so there is no dearth of the topics to hear about the Lord. We cannot say that, oh, I have been hearing about the Lord for the last 10 years, अब बहुत हो गया अभी खत्म हो गया कुछ बचा नहीं. Not like that. Lord is unlimited. We cannot complete hearing the topics of the Supreme Lord. Lord Ananta is not able to come to an end. He is discussing, he is narrating, or no, he is actually either contemplating or singing the glories of the Supreme Lord from the very beginning of the creation. And he will continue to do till the end of the day of Brahma. That the moment the glories are ending, that it will be the time of Pralaya. The Bhumandala, Borloka, Sargaloka will all drown into Garbhodaka ocean. If Lord Ananta is not able to come to an end of the glories of Supreme Lord, whether speaking, hearing, or singing, how can we say that ये बहुत हो गया, सब कुछ सुन लिया? We cannot tell like that. So in that way. Suta Uvacha
Suta Uvacha
Vaipayana Sakastevam
Dvaipayana
Maitreyo Bhagavam Stata
Maitreyo
Mataji.
Tata
Prahedam Viduram Prita
Prahedam Viduram Prita
Anvikshikyam Prachoditaha.
Anvikshikyam Prachoditaha. Sri Goswami said the most powerful sage Maitreya was a friend of Vyasadeva. Being encouraged and pleased by Vidura's enquiry about transcendental knowledge, Maitreya spoke as follows.
Sutta Goswami is responding to sages of Naimisharanya. Maitreya, the friend of Vyasadeva, pleased on being asked about the knowledge of Atma, just you have asked me, then spoke as follows to Vidura. So just like the sages of Naimisharanya are asking Sutta Goswami, similarly, Sutta Goswami is saying that, similarly, Vidura also asked Maitreya. And then Maitreya responded to Vidura's request. So this is a verse coming in first canto, third chapter, text number 44. So wherein Sutta Goswami is responding to the sages of Naimisharanya. Sages of Naimisharanya were wanted to hear more and more. As an answer to that, he was telling that whatever I have heard from Sri Sukadeva Goswami, which while he was speaking to Parikshit Maharaj, I am just repeating according to my ability to remember and understand. So in that conversation, Sri Sukadeva Goswami narrated the conversation that took place between Maitreya and Vidura. So that he is repeating now in that way. Tatra kirtayato vipra vipradsherburti tejasa aham chadyagam tatra nivishtas tadanugrahat soham va pravayishyami yataditam yatamati. From that great and powerful sage. Now, I shall try to make you hear the very same thing. Okay? As I learned it from him and as I have realized it. Yataditam yatamatihi. Since because I have heard it from the great souls like Sukadeva Goswami, I am able to speak now. So that is a understanding. So now the focus shifts to Maitreya and Vidura's conversation. Maitreya uvacha
Maitreya Uvacha
pitari prastiteranyam
Pitari Prasthiteranyam
mato priyachikirshaya
Matu Priya Chikirshaya
tasmin bindusare vaseed.
Tasmin Bindusare. Maitreya said, when Kardama left for the forest, Lord Kapila stayed on the strand of the Bindu Sarovar to please his mother Devahuti. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, when his father departed for the forest, Lord Kapila stayed with his mother on the bank of Bindu Sarovar to please his mother. After Kardama left, Lord Kapila stayed in Bindu Sarovar to please his mother. So there is a verse which says, which talks about the inquiry made by Vidura to Maitreya. Of course, very recently, in the beginning of the 20th chapter, he said that I want to hear specifically about Lord Kapila and also Lord Kapila's parents, Kardama and Devahuti. And then the answer is going on. But the very first question asked by Vidura was in 3rd canto, 5th chapter, and text number 3. So that was Sukaya karmani karoti loke nate sugam vanayad uparmamba vindeta bhuya tatayeva dukkam yadatra yuktam bhagavan vadenna. He said that people in this material world perform various activities with an intention to mitigate their current misery and get happiness. But after performing the activity as a result, they are neither able to mitigate their misery nor able to get happiness. Instead, they are only getting more misery. So please tell me the reason for this and remedy for this. So Maitreya might have asked, why are you asking me? You yourself know the answer to this question. Then Vidura says, what I know is this much. Janasya Krishnad Vimukasya Daivad Adharma Shilasya Sudukkitasya Anugrahayena Charanti Nunam Bhutani Bhavyani Janardanasya. The reason for suffering in this material world is people have turned their faces away from Krishna. Janasya Krishna Vimukasya Daivad. And then Adharmashilasya, they began to perform adharma. As a result of that, Sudukitasya. Because if we do adharma, we are entitled to get dukkha only. And if we do continuous adharma, we are entitled to get continuous dukkha. That is the nature of this material world. That was the reason, according to my understanding. The remedy is Anugraha ena charanti nunam bhutani bhavyani janardanasya. Great souls like you, they continuously wander on the surface of the earth in order to disseminate the spiritual knowledge to one and all, so that the miserable, conditioned, suffering souls can be delivered and attain eternal happiness. So you are one such great soul whose life has been dedicated to distribute Krishna consciousness to one and all. So I come to you. Please deliver the conditioned souls by giving the transcendental knowledge. So that knowledge, understanding which or following which a conditioned soul can be delivered is coming now. Teachings of Lord Kapila. These 7-8 chapters, whatever has been discussed in these chapters, is the actual knowledge, hearing which, understanding which, following which a conditioned soul can deliver oneself and attain shelter at the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in spiritual abode. So the answer to this question is coming now. So like that we have to understand. Sadhu prishtam saya sadhu lokan sadhu anugrahata kirtim vitanvata loke atmano dokshajatmanah. So by hearing these questions, when Maitreya was responding to Vidura in the same 5th chapter, text number 18, so Maitreya said, Sadhu prishtam tvaya sadhu. Oh Vidura, you whose mind is absorbed in the Lord, adokshaja atmano, showing great mercy to the people in general. Lokan sadhu anugrahata, lokan anugrahata. Your questions are meant for compassion upon, displaying compassion upon the people in general, spreading your own glory to all. You have asked excellent questions. The question which Vidura asked is not for his own benefit. That question is for Loka Sangraha, Lokan Anugrahata. That's why your question is the best of all questions. Sadhu Prishtam. So the answer to that Sadhu Prishtam is now coming. The teachings of Lord Kapila, which can give Anugraha to the entire Loka. That means the entire universe. So like that. So then Maitreya is telling what happened, how, under what circumstances Lord Kapila delivered this knowledge to Mother Devahuti. The background scene is discussed. Tamasinam akarmanam
Tamasinam akarmanam
tattva margarga darshanam
tattva margarga darshanam
swasutam devahutyaha
swasutam devahutyaha
dhatu samsarati vacha.
dhatu samsmarati vachaha. When Kapila, who could show her the ultimate goal of the absolute truth, was sitting leisurely before her, Devahuti remembered the words Brahma had spoken to her, and she therefore began the question Kapila as follows.
So one day, after the completion of morning duties, like morning program is over, Lord Kapila sat at leisure, maybe after morning alpahara, breakfast and all. So Devahuti approached her son. That is being indicated here. Devahuti, remembering the words of Lord Brahma, Dhatuhu Vacha Samsmaranti, spoke to her son, who was seated beyond all actions, Tam Asinam Akarmanam, and who could show the conclusion of path of knowledge. Tattva Marga Agra Darshanam. Among all things that one can understand by Tattva Marga, by following in the path of perfection, the best thing Lord Kapila can show. Agra Darshanam means the starting point of the path of perfection. Lord Kapila can reveal. The starting point is the personality of Godhead. Afterwards comes Paramatma, afterwards comes all Brahman aspects and all. But Lord Kapila, he can show the beginning point of the spiritual existence. Tattva Marga, Agra Darshanam, he can do. So unto that personality, Mother Devahuti asked on one day. Lord Kapila could show the end of the path of truth. Brahma has said, the Lord has entered your womb. Devahuti starts to address Lord Kapila, remembering the words of Lord Brahma. In the previous chapter, Lord Brahma indicated that, so my dear Manavi, oh daughter of Manu, though you have asked your husband to deliver your bondage and give you fearlessness, but the Supreme Lord who had entered your womb very soon will cut the knot of ignorance and by removing all the doubts. So that's what Lord Brahma told. Jnana Vijnana Yogena Karmanam Muddaram Jata Hiranyakesha Padmaksha Padma Mudra Padambuja Eshamanavite Garbam Pravishta Kaitavardhana Avidya Samshaya Grantim Chittagam Vicharishyanti. Avidya Samshaya Grantim Chitva. He will remove avidya and samshaya, ignorance and doubts. How? By giving you Jnana Yoga and Vijnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga means Nishkama Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga. Vijnana Yoga means Bhakti Yoga. So Lord Kapila will teach you Nishkama Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga and especially Bhakti Yoga, by which your avidya will be destroyed, your samshaya will be destroyed, and he will deliver you. Then he will travel all over the surface of the earth to deliver many other such inquisitive people. That was Lord Kapila. O daughter of Manu, in order to uproot karma by the methods of jnana and vijnana, with golden hair, lotus eyes, lotus feet, marked with the lotus, this Lord, the killer of the demon Kaitaba, entering your womb, will travel over the world, cutting the knot of ignorance and false knowledge of one and all. So, Lord Kapila is starting the purpose of his appearance with Mother Devahuti. So, like that. So, Mother Devahuti, remembering these words of Lord Brahma, one fine day, when Lord Kapila sat on leisure, she began to inquire humbly from Lord Kapila. Now she will make inquiries. Hare Krishna, all of you are following? Any questions?
No.
Mother
Following.
Devahuti. Devahutir uvacha
Devahutirvacha
Nirvinnanitarambuman
Nirvinnanitaram bhuman
Asad Indriya Trishnanath
Asat indriya tarshanad
Yena Sambhavyamanena
Yena sambhavyamanena
Prapannandam Tamaprabho.
Prapannandham tamaha prabhu. Devahuti said, I am very sick of disturbance caused by my material senses. For because of this sense disturbance, my Lord, I have fallen into abyss of ignorance.
Yeah. So Mother Devahuti openly poses questions. Oh Lord, I am disgusted. Nirvinna Nitaram. I am completely disgusted with the desire for material objects. Asad Indriya Tarshanath. By which, continuing till this time, I have attained this dark material existence. Oh my Lord. Of course, Devahuti is not in that fault, in that wrong condition, but this is the nature of great souls. The great souls, even though they may have a small trace of mistake within them, but they magnify it and they tell they are only mistaken people. They are only wrong people. Like that, they project themselves. That is the nature of humility. That is the nature of the great souls. Same thing she is telling that. Nirvinna nitaram tesham asam tushnatas. My dear Lord, I am completely attached to material objects. As a result of that, I am continuing in this material world. I have attained this dark material existence. Please help me come out of this. So like that she is telling. I am disgusted with the desire for material objects, because of which I have attained this dark material existence. Even in Ramakeli, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Ramakeli while going to Vrindavan, both Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, they came to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the middle of the night by putting the dry grasses within their teeth, and they fell flat looking at Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from far distant only. They fell flat and began to say about themselves, Neecha Jati, Neecha Sange, Kor Neecha Kaj. So we have been born in Neecha Jati, and we have been associated with Neecha people, and we have been performing highly abominable activities. If you see, Rupa and Sanatana were born in Karnataka Gauda Brahmanas family. And even though they are working for Nawab, but they did not do any adharmic activities in their duties. They were doing their duties properly only. Even though they are in the association of Nawab Hussain Shah, that was also for a reason. Nawab Hussain Shah put a condition that if you both don't join the duties, I will kill all the Brahmana community. Otherwise, I will convert all the Brahmana community into Muslims. In order to save all the Brahmana community, Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami joined as Prime Minister and Chief Minister for the Nawab Hussain Shah. But they never took the kind of philosophy or the value system of Nawab Hussain Shah. In the core of the heart, they remained the devotees only. They regularly used to discuss Krishna Katha secretly, Bhagavad Katha, and they used to do all the spiritual activities at their home. Even if you go to Ramkeli, even it is said that within the homes of Ramkeli, within the homes of Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, within their homes, they had Gupta Vrindavan. All the different pastime places of Vrindavan, they constructed a small scale thing within them. Just like in Chowpatty temple, we have the Vrindavan forest. Within that, all the temples, mini models are there. Govardhan is there, Yamuna is there, like that. So, but that is the nature of the great souls. Even though there may be slight thing in them, but they project, they are only that. That is the nature of great souls. Same thing here, Mother Devahuti also doing. I am disgusted with the desire for material objects, because of which I have attained this dark material existence. Now, my dear Lord, please deliver me. So this word comes, Nirvinna Nitaram. I am completely disgusted. This word again comes in the 11th canto. Yadrichaya matkatadau jata shaddostu yapuman na nirvinno nachsakto bhakti yogosya siddhida. So in the 11th canto, in the Uddhav Gita, Lord Krishna is talking about who are qualified to practice Karma Yoga, who are qualified to practice Jnana Yoga, and who are qualified to practice Bhakti Yoga. So in that context, the word Nirvana is being used. It is said that if this verse talks about those who are qualified for practicing Bhakti Yoga, if somehow or other, by good fortune, one develops faith in hearing and chanting my glories, Jata Shraddha Mat Katado Yadrichaya. Such a person, being neither very disgusted with nor attached to material life, na nirvinno na atisakto. Those people who are very much attracted to material happiness can never practice bhakti. And those people who are completely disgusted with the material world cannot practice bhakti. In order to practice bhakti, one should be in the middle, neither too much attached nor too much detached. Because too much attachment makes one qualified to practice sakama karma. Too much detachment makes one practice jnana or ashtanga. Because jnana and ashtanga, too much detachment is required. Otherwise, they cannot take to vanaprastha sannyasa and go to forest and then practice jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga. That is very difficult. And the people who want to practice sama karma, they should have too much attachment. Otherwise, why would they undertake so many rituals with a lot of pain and hard work and attention if there is no desire? So, but devotees should not be too much attached and should not be too much detached. They should be in the middle. So that is a qualification for one who can practice bhakti or who can continue to practice bhakti. So such kind of person should achieve perfection to the path of loving devotion unto me. Bhakti yogosya siddhida. That such kind of people who are na nirvinno, na atisakto, and also third quality is Edruchya matkadado jatasadostu yapuman. Shraddha should be there about hearing and discussing Krishna Katha. These three are the essential qualities that one should have in order to practice and continue to practice bhakti. Otherwise, one cannot continue bhakti for a long time. Like that.
Prabhuji, for too much attachment, what you said that will you repeat? Too much detachment, too much attachment.
Too much attachment are qualified for sakama karma. Sakama karma
Sakama
means
karma.
perform Vedic ritual and you will get it. You do this ritual, you will get a good wife. You do this ritual, you get good children. You do this ritual, you get good job. This good, that good, like that. So
Okay.
performing some ritual means lot of hard work, lot of endeavor, lot of time, lot of money. Otherwise, why would they do? Because they have attachment. And those who want to practice jnana ashtanga, first of all, they need to take sannyasa. Sannyasa means there should be detachment. Those who don't have sufficient amount of detachment cannot take to sannyasa. So like that. Yes, Haripriya Mataji.
So Prabhuji, for a devotee, then what is true attachment and what is true detachment? Means, can you just give some
Not is
examples?
too attachment, not too much attachment to material life and not too much detachment from material life. We should be in the middle. For example, too much attachment means I only want to eat. Too much detachment means I don't want to eat. But devotees, they prepare wonderful items for the pleasure of the Lord and then they honor. So too much attachment means why Lord? Let me only eat. And too much detachment means why me, why Lord? No one should eat. So something like that we can think of.
Okay, Prabhuji. Okay.
For those who are too much detached, go to forest. They don't worry about the home and all. Those who are too much attached, they only want home for them. But devotees, they want to have a home for the Lord. They have a home where they will worship the Lord. That home is offered to the Supreme Lord. For Lord service, they have home. So like that.
But Prabhuji, sometimes it happens that on Lord's name we start accumulating more and more. So that thing doesn't come, means
It will
sometimes
come only when we hear more and more, when we understand what should be the thought process that we should cultivate in order to progress in bhakti. It will come as time progresses. As the more we take bhakti seriously, that thought process will be manifested in the heart. In the beginning, it may not be so much, but धीरे धीरे हो जाएगा.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Yeah, somebody else raised their hand. Okay, fine. We'll go ahead. तस्यत्वं तमसोऽन्धस्य
तस्य तमसुद्धस्य
दुष्पारस्याद्यपारगम्
दुष्पारस्याद्यपारगम्
सचक्षुर्जन्मनामन्ते
सचक्षुः जन्मनामन्ते
लब्धं मे त्वदनुग्रहात्.
लब्धं मे त्वदनुग्रहात्. Your Lordship is my only means of getting out of this darkest region of ignorance, because you are my transcendental eye, which by your mercy only I have attained after many, many births. Hare Krishna.
Today, Adya, by your mercy, after many births, I have attained you, a spiritual eye, Sat Chakshuhu, to let me cross over the darkness so difficult to cross. Tasya tamaso andasya dusparasya. Till now, I was in complete darkness. I don't know where to go and how to go. And today, you have appeared as a sun, dispelling the darkness and showing the path of perfection. So today, I can attain perfection, which is very difficult to attain. Dusparasya paragam. So like that, Mother Devahuti is telling. After many births, today I have attained you so that I can cross this material ocean. Paragam means one who makes one crossover. Such Chakshuhu means an excellent eye. That means the Supreme Lord appeared as the sun in order to dispel the darkness and show us the path of perfection. Therefore, please deliver me by showing me the path of perfection. This is the request of Devahuti. Yadyo Bhagavan Pumsham
Yadyo Bhagavan Pumsam
Ishvaro Vaibhavan Kila
Ishvaro Vaibhavan Kila
Lokasya Tamasandasya
Lokasya Tamastan Dasya
Chakshu Surya Ivoditaha.
Chakshu Surya Ivodita. Translation: You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the origin and Supreme Lord of all living entities. You have arisen to disseminate the rays of the sun in order to dissipate the darkness of the ignorance of the universe.
Next. You, who are the original Lord, original Supreme Lord, controller of all beings, the eye for persons blinded by darkness have risen like the sun. Both previous verse and this verse are connected same way. You have arisen like the sun to deliver persons blinded by darkness. You are not only my eye, but the eye of all people. You are like the sun, destroyer of all darkness. Please deliver me and all of us who have been bound by the darkness of material existence. So, like that, Mother Devahuti is making her request to Lord Kapila. Then she further says, Atame Deva Sammoham
अत मे देव सम्मोहम्
Apakrashtum Tvamarhasi
अपाकृष्टुं त्वमर्हसि
Yo Vagrahoham Mametiti
यो वग्रहोऽहं ममेतीति
Etasmin Yojitastvaya.
एतस्मिन् योजितस्त्वया. Now be pleased, my Lord, to dispel my great delusion. Due to my feeling of false ego, I have been engaged by Yogamaya and have identified myself with the body and consequent bodily relations.
O Lord, now you should dispel this illusion, which is an obstacle to bhakti, having misconceptions such as I and mine for the body and house, produced by your energy. Maya makes us think aham mameti, this body as I, aham, and everything that we possess, our home and other things, the people in our home and objects in our home and our possessions as mama, mine. This is binding us in this material world. The one and only cause of bondage in this material world is aham mameti. I am this and these are mine. Please dispel this illusion of mine. First, you should remove this illusion, which is an obstacle to the shower of nectar of bhakti. Unless until the illusion is gone away, we cannot take bhakti seriously. Your Maya has produced conceptions of I and mine for body and house. Because Maya belongs to you, I have said that you have produced this misconception. My dear Lord, it is because of your Maya this misconception has come to us, that we think that I am this body and everything along with in relation to the body is mine. It is produced by your Maya and it is your responsibility to remove it. We cannot go here and there. It is your Maya produced this problem and it's your responsibility to remove that problem. Please do the needful. So like that, Mother Devahuti putting the complete responsibility upon Lord Kapila. So Lord Kapila might say that, I am your son. How can I do that? So then Mother Devahuti finally makes it clear that you may be son, but you are not limited to that. You are the Supreme Personality of God. You can do it. Why you can do it? That she says. Agataham Sharanam Sharanyam.
तं त्वागताहं शरणं शरण्यं
स्वभृत्य संसारतरो कुटारम्
स्वभृत्य संसारतरो कुतारम्
जिज्ञासयाहं प्रकृते पुरुषस्य
जिज्ञासयाहं प्रकृते पुरुषस्य
नमामि सद्धर्मविदां वरिष्ठम्
नमामि सद्धर्मविदां वरिष्ठम्. Devahuti continued, I have taken shelter of your lotus feet because you are the only person of whom to take shelter. You are as which can cut your the axe which can cut the tree of material existence. I therefore offer my obeisances unto you, who are the greatest of all transcendentalists, and I inquire from you as to the relationship between man and woman and between spirit and matter.
surrendering unto you the axe to cut the tree of material existence for your devotees. Swabhrutya samsara taro kutaram tam tva gata sharanam sharanyam. You are sharanam sharanyam. You are worthy object of taking shelter. Why? Swabhrutya samsara taro kutaram. Taro means tree. What kind of tree? Samsara tree. The tree of material existence. Of whose? Swabhrutya. The tree of material existence of your devotees can be cut by the axe, and you are that axe. You are the axe to cut the tree of material existence for your devotees. I offer respects to you, the best among the knowers of bhakti. Swadharma, Saddharma Vidam Varishtam. Among the knowers of Saddharma means bhakti, you are Varishta, you are the best. With a desire to know about the Jiva in the material world and Prakriti. Jivasya aham prakrite purushasya. Jignasaya aham prakrite purushasya. So, if you remember Bhagavad Gita chapter 15, there was a people tree, Ashwatta Vruksha, Ashwattamenam Suvirudamulam, Asanga Shasrena Drudena Chitva. Asanga Shastra, the weapon is Asanga, detachment. That weapon is the Supreme Lord. That means hearing and knowing about the Supreme Lord is the weapon. Only when we know, when we hear and know the Supreme Lord, we become attracted to Supreme Lord. When we become attracted to Supreme Lord, we become disinterested or become indifferent to material existence. That becoming indifferent to material existence or disinterest in material existence is nothing but cutting the tree of the material existence. That is only possible when we become attached to Supreme Lord. That in that way. So how can we know the Supreme Lord more and more? When we know about Prakriti and Purusha, then we know about the Supreme Lord also slowly, one step ahead. I should ask you and no one else with a desire to know about the Purusha, the Jiva in the material world who is bound in this material world, and about Prakriti from which the material existence arises. You are the best among the knowers of the process to destroy samsara, the process of Bhakti Yoga, Saddharma Vidam Varishtam. It is by the process of Bhakti Yoga we can understand who is in the conditioned state and by what one is even put into conditioned state, and what is the process of coming out, and after coming out where one should go, who is that person, what is the relationship between that person and us, and after going there what we will do. All these things will come to know only when we have some jignasa to understand what is Prakriti, what is Purusha, what is the relationship between Prakriti and Purusha, etc., etc., like that. The same thing, whatever she is telling now, previously she told her to her husband when husband Kardama was about to leave to the forest. That time she told same thing. Saham bhagavato nunam vanchita maya drudam yatvam vimuktidam prapya namamukshasya bandhanat. I have surely been solidly cheated. Can give liberation from bondage. Though you are a great devotee, you could have asked liberation, but I was cheated. Asked for children instead of asking for. That means when we come in the association of great devotees or when we should ask for the revelation of the knowledge of material existence, the constitutional position of Jiva Ishvara and Prakriti. That knowledge only will deliver us from this material existence. But many times, being bewildered by Maya, we do not make such inquiries. Instead, we make so many other material inquiries and material desires, submitted with material desires. Same thing is kind of indicated in the second canto, 10th chapter. After explaining the entire universal form, then Sri Sukadeva Goswami is saying that Ittam bhavena kadito bhagavan bhagavattama netam bhavena hi param drashtum arhanti suraya. The great transcendentalist does describe the activities of Supreme Personality of Godhead, but the pure devotees desire to see more glorious things in transcendence beyond these features. So many describe the Supreme Lord's activities in the form of universal form, but the great devotees, they are eager to know more and more about the Supreme Lord. Their eagerness does not restrict up to this material world and material universe. They go 10 steps beyond that and to want to know the Lord in the spiritual world. So that is their eagerness. So these are the inquiries by Mother Devahuti. See everything openly. Even though she is not bound, even though she is not in ignorance, but she tells that I am an ignorant person, I am bound by this material existence, please deliver me. That is the nature of the great souls. Then Maitreya says, what did Lord Kapila say in response? Maitreya Uvacha. Krishna.
Maitreya Uvacha.
Iti Samatur
Iti Samatur Niravadyam Ipsitam.
Nishamya Pumsham Apavargavardhanam.
Nishamya Pumsam Apavarga Vardhanam.
Siyabhinandyatma.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, please continue, Mataji.
Yeah. Dhyaabhinandyatma vatam satam gati.
Baba.
Babhasha ishasmi tashobhitananaha. Maitreya said, after hearing of his mother's uncontaminated desire for transcendental realization, the Lord thanked her within himself for her questions, and thus, his face smiling, he explained the path of the transcendentalists who are interested in self-realization. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So here Maitreya is saying that hearing his mother's faultless desire for increasing liberation for humanity. Pumsham Apavarga Vardhanam. Mother Devahuti is not a Badajiva. Mother Devahuti keeping herself as a Badajiva, making certain inquiries. As a result of that answers given by Lord Kapila will deliver one and all. That is the nature of great souls. Lord Kapila, thanking her by his intelligence, with a slight smile on his shining face, spoke about the path of the devotees who accept Lord Kapila as the Supreme Lord. Atmavatam Satam Gati. Lord Kapila starts to reply, hearing his mother's faultless desire. Apavarga Vardhana means increasing liberation or cutting out material life. Atmavatam means for those who take Lord Kapila as the object of service. Satam means of the devotees. Lord Kapila smiled. You are my mother. How can you be in Maya? Anyway, I'll teach something to deliver the common people through teaching you. So, my dear mother, even previously as I told, just by becoming my parents, both you and my mother are already liberated. So, you don't have to do some further sadhana. But still, in order to set a right example to the people in general in this material world, if you wish you want to go to forest, you please go to forest. Like that, Lord Kapila previously told to Kardama. No, same thing. He kind of he did not say, but he was within his own heart. He was thinking that you are my mother. By becoming my mother, you are already liberated. You are not bound. But still, since you are asking, making you as an instrument, I'll teach something for helping the people in general. Just like Lord Krishna says, does in Bhagavad Gita, Tamuvacha Rishikesham Prahasan Iva Bharata. After hearing Arjuna's statements that Arjuna says that Karpanya Dosho Pata Swabhava, Pruchamittam Dharma Sammuda Cheta, Shishyastheham Sadhimantam Prapannam. So Lord the Krishna did not smile, did not laugh. He just slightly smiled, not to embarrass Arjuna. Same thing, Lord Kapila also. Even though Mother Devahuti is speaking big words, he slightly smiled, thinking that, oh, you are my mother, you are already liberated. How can you say that you are bound, etc. Then Lord Kapila speaks. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha
Yoga Adhyatmika Pumsham
Yoga
Pumsam
Mato Nishreyasaya Me
Matto Nishrechayame
Atyanto Paratiryatra
Atyanto Paratayiryatra
Dukkasya Cha Sukhasya Cha.
Dukkhasya cha sukhasya cha. The personality of Godhead answered, the yoga system which relates to the Lord and the individual soul, which is meant for ultimate benefit of the living entity and which cause detachment from all happiness and distress in this material world, is the highest yoga system.
So in the first verse, Lord tells in brief or introduces the path of perfection. What is the solution for you? And then he elaborates what it is in the upcoming verses. I approve of yoga concerning the Atma, known as Adhyatmika Yoga, for giving one personal benefit. What kind of benefit? Nishreyasaya, the ultimate benefit. By that, there is complete uprooting of material happiness and distress. Atyanta uparatir, complete destruction of the material existence by following this Adhyatmika Yoga process. Yoga concerning Jivatma, Adi Atmika Yoga. That means that yoga concerning Jivatma is approved as the most beneficial method for oneself. It has three types. Adhyatmika Yoga includes three yogas. One is Bhakti Yoga, second is Jnana Yoga, third is Ashtanga Yoga. So primarily, Lord Kapila is going to teach Adhyatmika Yoga to Mother Devahuti. And that since that Adhyatmika Yoga contains three paths, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Lord Kapila will teach all the three paths. For Bhakti, benefit for oneself is a secondary effect. Being situated in this yoga, one uproots material happiness and distress completely. I approve this path of Adhyatmika Yoga, yoga concerning the Atma, for it uproots material happiness and miseries. This includes Bhakti, Jnana and Ashtanga Yoga. This is the first direct. The answer is Adhyatmika Yoga is the solution for all your problems. And that Adhyatmika Yoga contains Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga. And then this is the last verse for today. So we are already more than 1:30. Just we'll do this and then stop. Tamimam te pravakshami
Tamimam te prabhakshyami
yamavocham puranage
yamavocham puranaghe
rishinam shrotu kamanam
rishinam shrotu kamanam
yogam sarvanga naipunam.
yogam sarvanga naipunam. O most pious mother, I shall now explain unto you that ancient yoga system, which I explained formerly to the great sages. It is serviceable and practical in every way.
O pious mother, I'll explain to you that yoga, whose many parts are easy to perform, which I previously explained to the sages like Narada, who were eager to hear. Though Adhyatmika Yoga contains three paths, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, but among the three, Bhakti Yoga is easy to perform. I will first explain to you that yoga which was explained to the sages such as Narada and whose limbs are very easy to perform. Panchama Kapilo Nama Siddhesha Kala Viplutam Provacha Suraye Sankyam Tattvagrama Vinirnayam. This is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 3, Text number 10. All the avatars are explained there. Fifth, the Lord became Lord Kapila, the best of the perfected beings. Siddhesha. and spoke to Asuri Brahmana the philosophy of Sankhya. Provacha Asurya Sankhyam Tattvagrama Vinanam, which defines the various principles of existence which had become lost with time. By the influence of time, that knowledge has been lost. So then Lord again reiterating that knowledge. So of course, Lord spoke first to Mother Devahuti and then spoke to many other people. And here Lord is saying that this knowledge which was spoken by me in a different form to the sages like Narada in the past, the same knowledge today I'll speak to you. And later on afterwards, Lord Kapila also speaks to many people. One among them was Asuri Brahmana. And even though it was spoke at the beginning of the creation, but in due course of time, by the influence of time, things appears to be lost. And somebody else will come and reiterate them. In that way, knowledge is preserved. So like that. So he told of the three, Bhakti is easy to perform. Along with Bhakti, other two also there, but the three will have some common activities to do. So what are the common activities and what are the independent activities? Lord Kapila will speak from text number 15 onwards, that we will see next class. So for today, we'll stop here. It's already 1:30. Yeah, any questions before closing? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Uh,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
yes.
Prabhuji, you told that there are Ashtanga Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, and Bhakti is in one path. Can you just explain it again, Prabhuji?
We will discuss in detail in the future. See, the traditional yoga ladder is like this.
Yeah.
In Brahmachari ashram, one studies everything. So in Grihastha ashram, one practices Nishkama Karma Yoga. One performs all the household activities and also worshipping the devatas and offering the fruits to the service of the devatas and Supreme Lord, etc., etc. That is called Nishkama Karma Yoga. After completing all one's responsibilities, one takes on to Vanaprastha order, goes to the forest, leads a life of austerities, and fully dedicated to practice of Jnana Yoga. Either in Vanaprastha or Sannyasa, traditionally, the people in general, what they do is called as Jnana Yoga. What one does at home is called Nishkama Karma Yoga. Okay? So in that Vanaprastha and Sannyasa order, one, after practicing sufficient tapasya, when one becomes completely detached, so one thinks that, okay, now I'm done, enough is enough, now I have to attain moksha. Then they take shelter of Ashtanga Yoga. By the practice of Ashtanga Yoga, they raise their prana from the Mooladhara Chakra all the way up to Ajna Chakra, and piercing through Brahmarandra, they will attain moksha immediately. This is the traditional yoga ladder. Primarily, they aim to attain Sayajya Mukti. But some fortunate practitioners may also want to enter into Vaikuntha. Even though they want to enter into Vaikuntha, but mostly they only aspire to get Salokya or Sarishti Mukti. Salokya means staying the same Vaikuntha planet. Sarishti means staying in Vaikuntha and also having opulences. They are not so much interested in direct service. Indirectly they will serve, but directly they don't want to serve the Lord. Because this is their nature of their mentality, their mood. But others, those who want to serve the Lord directly, for them the path is Bhakti Yoga. So in Bhakti Yoga also different ranks are there. There is Sakama Bhakti, Nishkama Bhakti, Naistik Bhakti, I mean like that, Ananya Bhakti, etc. So in that Bhakti also, some people with desire they practice Bhakti. Such kind of people will get Salokya or Sarishti Mukti. But those people who only exclusively have the desire to serve the Lord, they get Samipya or Sarupya Mukti. They attain liberation in close proximity of the Supreme Lord, so that they get to serve the Lord every day. So this is how these two are different.
But we as practicing devotees are doing all the things together, I think. So I mean, sometimes Nishkam Karma Yoga, sometimes.
No, not like that. Don't get confused. Don't get confused. There is a clear-cut distinction. Later on, we'll see. how we have to distinguish? First of all, the first distinction, yogis, jnana yogis, and ashtanga yogis, they are aspiring to attain Sahajya Mukti. Others are aspiring to serve the Lord directly. So which one you are aspiring for?
Serving the Lord.
Then you are not in the other category. And the second thing, the practices also. I'll give you one example. The Nishkama Karma Yoga means, this is from the village scenario. If you have some connection to village scenario, and you will understand this. Like farmers, they produce crop. Okay. And once in 6 months, they get the crop to home. They get all the new grains. The first grains, they take 1 kilogram of grains and they go take mill and they take them to mill, for example, rice. And they remove the husk and they get the new rice and they prepare a nice boga, they offer it to the Lord. Okay. And that means the entire lot of the rice crop is offered to the Lord. Then you don't have to offer every day, every 3 times. This is Nishkama Karma Yoga. Once you offer a small sample of the entire lot, everything is offered. For 6 months, you are done. But in Bhakti, every meal we offer.
Yeah.
So that is the difference between those two.
Okay. Okay, Prabhuji.
So like that. They are also offering to the Lord. Here, these people are also offering to the Lord. But they are offering to the Lord periodically. Here, these people are offering to the Lord everything. Yat karoshi, yadashnashi, yajjush, tadashi, tapasya kontaya, tatpurusham adarpanam. Even small thing of drinking water also, first they offer it to the Lord, then accepted. But other people, they perform activities according to their psychophysical nature, according to their varna and ashrama. When the result come, they offer the result, some portion of the result to Supreme Lord, and the rest they will use. But devotees, they themselves offer to the Supreme Lord and then do activities. This is the difference.
Yeah.
Nishkama Karma Yogis and others, they perform activity and offer the results. And devotee supposed to offer oneself to the Lord first and then do the activity as a service to the Lord.
Okay.
That is the actual definition of devotee. Very difficult to do, but that is what is expected. Once we say I am devotee, that means we don't have anything for ourselves. We cannot claim this belongs to me. For a devotee, everything is with him belongs to Supreme Lord. Nothing belongs to him. So when we say something belongs to me, we are no more devotee.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is the ideal understanding, but in order to distinguish what is what, we have to discuss, say like that.
Okay. Okay, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Got it.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much for staying back. So we'll continue our discussion the next week, because next week we have presentations. The devotees who are in the